ESPN dropped its latest mock draft, and for the first time, Bronny was nowhere to be found. Oh wait, he actually was in the next year's draft as a second-round pick. And this ain't just some guy in his basement making these mock drafts. ESPN has Jonathan Cavoni, a super plugged-in guy to NBA scouts and GMs. If he's saying Bronny's not NBA ready, the entire NBA is saying it. Except for one guy. LeBron immediately tweeted, "Can y'all please just let the kid be a kid and enjoy college basketball? The work and results will ultimately do the talking no matter what he decides to do. If y'all don't know, he doesn't care about what a mock draft says. He just works. Earn, not given. These mock drafts doesn't matter one bit." There is a lot wrong with that tweet, including how ironic is it that LeBron is telling us to let the kid be a kid? But before we get to that, how good is Bronny? Really? So he's a 19-year-old freshman at USC. Bronny suffered cardiac arrest on July 24th, which delayed his college start. So after months of not playing, State, where your boy went. He came off the bench then for 8 games until starter Isaiah Collier got injured. So in his first start, Bronny had 1 assist, 2 boards, and 0 points. Not ideal. He's started every game since, and he's improved statistically. But USC has won 0 games with Bronny as a starter. Their worst season in almost 10 years. By far, the most exciting part of their games is when LeBron shows up. This is why we are just now hearing Bronny should wait at least another year. We didn't know that for sure before the season, but now after 19 games, the NBA has spoken. He is not ready. So why is there a huge spotlight on a second-round pick? Because LeBron created it. Yeah, Bronny would have some spotlight anyway, but not like this. I mean, we hear about other NBA players' kids in college, like Zaire Wade or Sharif O'Neal. But LeBron took it to the next level. The first time he mentioned playing with Bronny is when he was in 7th grade. In an interview with GQ, LeBron said, "I damn sure would love to stick around if my oldest son can have an opportunity to play against me. That'd be the icing on the cake right there." Which is actually a nice statement. Caught some attention, but nothing like what he said the next year. You want to ask me what is my greatest achievement of my life? If I'm on the same court as my son in the NBA, that would be #1 in my lifetime as an NBA player. Okay, so the guy who wants to be compared to Michael Jordan is saying his greatest achievement is playing with Bronny? Now people were really paying attention. But he also just said playing on the same court, which could mean anything. He really took it up a notch at the 2022 All-Star Weekend. "My last year will be played with my son. Wherever Bronny is at, that's where I will be. I would do whatever it takes to play with my son for 1 year. It's not even about the money at that point." Okay, talk about a huge spotlight on your kid. When an entire network, ESPN, revolves around LeBron, you don't think that's gonna cause some pressure? So let's go back to the LeBron tweet after an ESPN mock draft had him going next year. "Can y'all please just let the kid be a kid and enjoy college basketball? The work and results will ultimately do the talking no matter what he decides to do. Let the kid be a kid." Are you kidding, LeBron? And no matter what he decides to do, when has that ever been a concern? Can you believe this entire time with LeBron talking about Bronny's future since he was in 7th grade, Bronny has done 0 interviews about what he wants. But before we get all emotional about the pressure of being Bronny James, there is some good about this. According to the NIL rankings for 2024, Bronny is the #1 richest college athlete in America. Not talk about daddy's money, this is his money. More endorsement cash than anyone because of his last name and that spotlight. In fact, kind of interesting, 3 of the top 4 kids are connected to famous families. At number 2, the son of Deion Sanders, Arch Manning, the nephew of Peyton and Eli. But the difference with Bronny is that everyone's also focused on why he's not good enough to be in the pros. Like, none of these other kids are even mentioned as professionals yet because they're not there. But with Bronny, it's the focus and it's negative, which sucks. And of course it's negative when his dad tweets things like, "Man, Bronny definitely better than some of these cats I've been watching on League Pass today. It's lightweight hilarious. Better than current NBA players." He also said in front of Lakers media that Bronny could play for us right now easy. So these NBA scouts are clapping back. telling the mock draft guys, slow your roll. Bronny is not that good. You could make the case that LeBron is kind of like the next LeVar Ball. LeVar not only trained his kids to be in the NBA, he talked about them like they were the next faces of the league. It created an unfair spotlight for Lonzo, which made things a lot tougher than they needed to be to start his career. LaMelo is living up to the hype, but Bronny right now might be closer to LiAngelo. So LeBron deleted his tweets about letting a kid be a kid because someone probably told him, dude, read the room. But Bron was right about one thing. These mock drafts don't matter one bit if you're Bronny. Even though he's not good enough to be in the NBA right now, dude could still go in the first round. The Athletic reported, not only are rival execs increasingly convinced that LeBron might want out of the Lakers situation, they're also focused on the Bronny James factor, which continues to loom large. The only teams that would make sense to use a first-round pick on Bronny are title contenders to get LeBron. So Bronny could be on the radar for like the Knicks, the T-Wolves, the Pelicans, the Heat, the Sixers, the Warriors, the Cavaliers, and others. If teams think LeBron would join them on a discount, it doesn't matter what a mock draft says. It turns out LeBron doesn't have to make his decision to stay with the Lakers until 3 days after the NBA draft, so he can wait to see where Bronny goes, then decide on his own future. But the Lakers, per a high-ranking team source, are also willing to explore the notion of adding Bronny James next season. The dream scenario, LeBron and Bronny in LA. Plus, the Lakers could make a major move this offseason to improve the team. They chose not to trade for DeJounte Murray at the deadline, which opens up 3 first-round picks to trade with Austin Reeves' valuable contract. Rumors say Trae Young may have already played his last game in Atlanta after having surgery. Several reports say the Hawks might be willing to move on from Trae, and he is represented by LeBron's agency, Clutch Sports. If Bronny was on that team, his role would be as a 3-and-D guard. He's 6'4", 210 pounds. He's got a high IQ, but will never be the next LeBron James. He'll be a role player in the NBA. When LeBron says he could help the Lakers right now, he thinks of his son as a defender who can hit open shots. But even that is a stretch at this point. So look, the spotlight created by LeBron is unfair, but at the same time, the kid could still get drafted in the first round. Honestly, I don't think this story is even done until years from now, where we actually see how it affects Bronny's career in the NBA. Maybe being on an NBA team helps him develop, like Chet Holmgren having that year out. But one team that is rolling right now is the Dallas Mavericks. After the trade deadline, they have the 4th best defense in the NBA and a top 10 offense, which is a formula to winning an NBA championship.